Now, ladies and gentlemen, the City Council cannot vote yet on the matter, and I don't want to speak for them. But as of this moment, I think the support is there for the city's side to move forward on this proposal, including assisting with the $16.5 million bond issue and the forgiveness of the $550,000 per year obligation, as long as it does not significantly strain the schools, or the city's budgets.
Those who worked on this, you've done a lot of work, both board and council. We're dealing with something that this community certainly knows about, the safety and welfare of students. We've been through a situation here that I hope no one will ever have to go through again. And we're doing some things that have long been needed doing. And I applaud that effort. I also want to address one other issue, the 550. That in many people's minds will go a long way in healing a lot of feelings. That in some people's minds was punitive in nature. Let me hasten to, it's not in my mind it was punitive in nature, but it was. To remove that bone of contention, to get that out of our way as a community and try to move on together is important.
Over the past 10 years or so, I have seen a divide between the city government and our school system. Until then, with the exception of a couple of times, city and school system officials operated harmoniously, with each recognizing the roles of the other. Following the tornado of March 1st, 2007, when 2 of our schools were destroyed and 8 of our students were lost, as well as 1 citizen in the city, there has been an even greater divide between the 2 entities. I will point out again that since the enactment of the 1/2 cent sales tax in 2008 and the diversion of the 3.5 cent ad valorem tax to the city, these funds were going to the Enterprise nursing home prior to the renewal of that tax in 2008. The city has profited almost $8 million, even after making payments on the $30 million bond issue for the 2 new schools. As someone who loves our town and our school system, I sincerely hope that agreements can be reached that will benefit both institutions.
But I'm, as a resident, I'm willing to share the load of the increase to facilitate that is having to take place in our system, both in school and as far as the city is concerned. And I want to commend, and I realize that it's painful when we have to increase, but I certainly urge everyone to do as we've done in the past, and as has been mentioned about the conditions when the tornado happened. This city bonded together, put their shoulder to the wheel. I urge everyone to do the same thing. Let's don't let this be a stumbling block into progress, and continue to be a city of progress, and also the education have the name that it has maintained through the years, and I'm sure it will continue.
Then I agree with the board, what the Board of Education has done as far as coming to the City Council, asking for the 550 being discarded, let that go away. But what I'd like to go a little bit further on, and I've heard some Thad said 30%, 70% has been the thing that has gone on. But the city council has profited off of the sales tax and the ad valorem tax is just about paid the debt. As Dr. Reese said, they've profited a little over $7 million. I would like to suggest that the city keep that first half-cent sale tax and keep it simple and let the school system have the other. Thank you.
And I just really think that as a city, we need to come together again and do what we need to do for this city. These guys over here, and hey, I promise you, they're busting their hump every day working for y'all. I know because I did it for 2 years. And I think that we need to come together and do what we have to do. If it costs us half a cent, it costs us half a cent. Big deal. You know, what was the number? Over 10,000? 5 bucks a year? Come on. 50, I'm sorry, 50. You're right. Not $50. $50. $50 additional dollars. I would like to say also, the number that they show, the 27,000 that these guys work off of, that's what the census shows. It's not actually what the amount of people that live in this city. We all know that's a fact. There's people that shouldn't be here that are here, still have to police them. People that are here that we live off of because of Fort Rucker, that we still have to police them. I complain about that at all, that's how I got here. But that's a fact. I mean, there's a good 35,000 people. If you get out there and work every day, you'll see them. And that doesn't count the amount of people coming in. So either way, we need to do what we need to do, stand together again, and get that, whatever we need to do done. Thank you.
Let me begin by giving some history, if I can. The Citizens School Funding Committee put together a program that went before both the City Board of Education at that time, as well as the City Council. I'll draw your attention to number 4, 5, and 6 on the agreement. The city passes a half-cent sales tax to partially fund the amortization of the bond issue. The city to pay $2 million annually from this source. Number 5, the city allows a referendum to go before the citizens for a vote to renew the property tax that is allocated to the Enterprise Health Care Authority. This tax is to expire in 2009. In the referendum, the property tax would be allocated to the city after 2009 to assist in funding the debt services on the bond issue. The city is to pay approximately $550,000 annually from this source. Beginning in 2016, these funds are to be used by the city to enhance and maintain its infrastructure. Primarily, the purpose of renewing and reallocating this tax is to avoid having to pass a 3/4 or higher sales tax. Number 6, Enterprise School Board pay $550,000 annually to the city, to the City of Enterprise beginning of 2016 for the remainder of the bond. And it is the understanding of the committee that the school board has a bond issue with payments of $1,200,000 annually that will be fully amortized at that time, therefore creating available funds. Now, we also had an ad valorem referendum. It stated, shall the governing body of the City of Enterprise, Alabama be authorized to levy an ad valorem tax of 35 cents on each $100, equal to 3.5 mills on each dollar of the assessed value of taxable property located within the city limits of Enterprise, Alabama, for the general purposes, and I repeat, for the general purposes of said city, including but not limited to the construction of the school's facility within the city of Enterprise, commencing with the tax year that will begin on October 1, 2009.
for which the tax year will become due and payable on October 1. Now let me draw your attention that in 2008, that the economy was not that good. We were trying to cover our bond issue papers. With that being said, the minutes from February the 15th, 2008, recommendations, with the exception of recommendation number 11, which should be modified to read as follows. The Enterprise City Board of Education will seek estimates on the cost and advisory capacity to the board. This was approved. Now, that sales tax that has been generated, Dr. Wright, have you made one of them payments yet?
No, sir, I sure have.
All right. With that being said, those tax dollars were spent for, in 2009, street equipment, sanitation equipment, police equipment, parks and recreation equipment, city hall improvements, traffic lights, airport improvements.
When your sales taxes are part of retail sales. Okay, property taxes which are a sign of people building in community, growing, increased value in the value of houses. That money, the city gets total on the 7 mills of the city, not counting the 3.5 mills as part of this, gets about $1.8 million a year. Our general fund operating budget is $27 million a year. Okay, the sales tax is closer, is going to be about 60-65% of the city's revenue. That's what the city uses to build its budget on. It's what we use to currently fund police, fire, the capital projects. And there was some growth of the additional tax that was passed to help offset some of that. But it did not grow at the 27% because you haven't had the retail coming in to bring in to account for the additional people coming in and additional growth. Basically, you know, you've got your Walmart, which is one of your largest contributors, Lowe's, your building suppliers, automobile dealers, obviously your largest contributors. But there's not been the basic retail growth to keep up with the growth of the city. There's still people, you know, that go out of town to shop, and the retail has not kept up with it. If we'd had 27% growth, we wouldn't be having this discussion tonight. I mean, and those figures, if you look at our audits, which are on the website, you can kind of, we give a fully detailed description of how we budget, how we allocate the funds, and where those funds come from. And I think you could take time to look at that. That kind of gives you an overview of what happened. And you can see that the sales tax has not grown to the extent of the growth of the city. And the funds just haven't been there. And I think if they'd have been there, we'd have already funded those police requests because they've been there before. And we have been able, by having this money, we've been able to fund the equipment that they needed. We just bought a new fire truck. We couldn't have done that without that additional money. We've rolled over police cars, twice. I think we bought 28, 30-something cars with that money we've rolled over. So what we've done, we've taken the money and put it into equipment and capital to help offset and address those things that needed. City Hall was deteriorating. We need to do some upgrades. There's been a new roof. There's been some upgrades in City Hall. Those things have been addressed. And one thing, when I came here in 2001, and Tim Offer was mayor then, we sat down to start the plan, and we kept it going with this council. But one thing, and I realized I've been in this, at the end of this year, this month, I've been in this business 25 years. And people, if you start adding staff, that's where you get in trouble the quickest. Because once you put staff in, you're stuck with those costs basically unless you're willing to lay them off. So we've made a concerted effort, not only for police and fire, not to add additional staff to so that we can keep those labor costs down. But what we try to do is provide the tools and resources. And I think, Butch, you think we haven't questioned overtime when they need it, because there was more need. We allowed them flexibility with the overtime. So those are the kind of things that we address, and that's kind of a budget approach we take. I mean, I help the council
Steve, I
put
think
that
that
together.
answered his question.
And then I put the council together, and then of course, obviously, they have to prove it, and when they've been consistent and been very supportive in meeting the capital needs, and also with a view in the future as the growth comes here to address the needs that we're talking about tonight.
Thank you. To the school board, thank you. To our city council, thank you. To our police officers, firemen, thank you. And to our school personnel, thank you for being here. And thank you for those that are interested in our city. It means a great deal to us. We appreciate the opportunity to hold the positions and to work hard at maintaining the slogan, City of Progress, and the two slogans together that says, we are Enterprise. We look forward to continuing a great relationship. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we'll work hard to make this city a lot better place to live.